Sahar!
So hello everyone, and thank you for joining us at this evening's Off the Stage event presented by Mupadala. My name is Jam. I'm a senior studying film and business here at NYU Abu Dhabi, and I'm also an intern for the Art Center. That's why I'm here. This evening's Arts Chat, Building a Life as an Artist, is presented in partnership with the NYUAD Art Gallery, as well as the NYUAD Career Development Center. And this series is part of the Off the Stage initiative by the Art Center, which also includes class visits, community dinners, we have post-show Q&As, and of course the Arts Chat. And to know more about the Off the Stage initiative of the Art Center, sign up to our newsletter or visit our website. You can find a tab there for all the Off the Stage events of the Art Center. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce to you all our diverse panel of artists, amazing artists. We have Dana Naidu, who's a singer, songwriter, and producer. We have Trixie Danielle, who's a writer and also a performance artist. We have Chafa Ghaddar, who's also a visual artist, a painter, and a teacher. And we have Lillian, who is a movement artist. And my name is Jam again. I'll be moderating. Because why not? And to start off, I think my initial impression is that we all in this sofa come from different places in the world, and I wanted to ask a very simple question: what was for you? And maybe Trixie can start with this. Trixie can start with this question. What was for you a memorable struggle in starting as an artist in a new country? Or maybe not a new country, but starting as an artist. What was a memorable struggle for you?
The most memorable struggle for me, I guess, is the feeling of being uprooted from the place where I was, because I was already in a very tight-knit art community back home. And then when I came here, it felt like I was all alone in the desert itself, as a metaphor. So yeah, and yeah. So the struggle was to find people that I resonate and connect with. I tried a lot of things, a lot of places, and to see if, are these people, do I connect with them, even if we have the same practice and stuff? But somehow there is a gap, there is a disconnect that I can't really pinpoint. But now I think I have found places where sort of I found my tribe, perhaps. Mm-hmm. And I feel comfortable with them. I feel good collaborating with them. Yeah, so I think that was one of the most.
Great. Does anybody want to follow up on that sort of feeling? Because for Trixie, I feel like it's moving in the UAE. It's maybe even in any country, it's hard to really find community. And do you guys resonate with that as a struggle as an artist, or not? Does anybody want to say something?
Yeah, I feel like I'm still finding my community.
Hey, hi.
I'm like half Indian, half Russian, born and raised in the UAE, and like super mixed. I've lived in Dubai, I've lived in India. I don't fit in anywhere. I'm still like finding my people, and I feel like that's one of the biggest goals with my music, is to find the people that I can resonate with the most. And I haven't found them yet. I found people that are my collaborators. I found family, I found friends, but community feels like it's a lot more than that. It's not just like people you hang out with all the time or people you work with all the time. Community is like, you don't have to be doing the same things to be in the same community, right? So I feel like I'm still looking for them, and I'm hoping that my music will get me there. But yeah, I'm still looking, so if you're out there, say hi.
Yeah, so please say hi to her.
Hi.
Need some community. What about you, Lillian?
Yeah, well, I resonate with what they are saying, but also my field is quite desertic here in the UAE, because contemporary dance, which is like my base, like when I was here in Abu Dhabi, I was like, okay, let's go to contemporary dance classes. There is no contemporary dance class. Oh, contact improvisation. Oh, they have no idea what contact improvisation is. Okay, ballet. Well, at least, they know ballet, but, like ballet for professional dancers, adults, like actually there is nothing. And I had to travel to Dubai, or actually, thank God, I find people that, like try to go with me, and yeah, I think one day I was telling my ballet teacher, like, I was so excited that one girl came to my class and she was able to dance, like going to the floor, and I was like so excited, because yeah, it's really difficult to find dancers, movers, like not, yeah, like with whom to really, like connect and resonate. But what I do is like really body with body, so it's even deeper connection. I sense, so yeah, because the body tells everything. You can blah blah blah. You can say I have 1,000 certifications, but when you step there and move, that's the real thing. So yeah, it's tricky, and also it's like the concept of dance, that is another chat. Like it's different to say dance and to say mover. A performance, a musician can be a mover and a great performer, not exactly a dancer. So then we have another discussion.
For me, the challenge is a bit different. Not that I disagree. I think our feeling towards if a community exists can vary. It's completely legit. I arrived here in 2017, felt more settled in the UAE in 2020. I do not recall that community did not exist, on the contrary, but what I can say is that it definitely needed an extra effort and stamina. And not everyone can have it, maybe not everyone is interested to have it, or had the right context to have it. For whatever reason, it happened to me. Now, it can be that it feels like it can evaporate very quickly. That's like the dilemma, or the ambiguity about where we feel suddenly, if we want to reach out, I know in the art field or in the communities I'm interested in, I know that there is a level of care and people who would be there for me or interested in what I do or the kind of conversations I want to do. But at the same time, if I do not show up or if I go silent, it can feel so lonely. So I feel like one of the things in this space, in the landscape of the UAE, is to really maintain something where you move across those things, I mean, with integrity, honesty, like, you're not there to show up, you're there because you want to be there, because you care, because it's related, like, existentially to how you navigate this space and eventually generate culture and meaning, etc. But it's a lot of stamina. But the real challenge that I can recall is being an artist and sustaining financially, and figuring out a way to do it without having to compromise an art practice or the time that requires a full-time studio-based artist to maintain a practice. And even though there are ways to do it, but I fully decided not to go for a full-time job. Maybe at some point I might change my mind, or I might need that security. But it's been, to me, like a lot of trying to figure out, and sometimes in interesting ways, and sometimes it was possible, between a bit of teaching, between commercial work, commissions, sending my work, to be able to do it. Because if you cannot do it financially, you cannot be. So I think this is a main challenge for an artist in my case. Yeah.
It's very slap in the face for me.
I didn't mean that.
I'm kidding. But I think you touch upon a lot of things that really resonate, but also not really resonate, because I feel like for us here in our community, it's really a given to have community.
Yeah.
And so for a lot of us who go out of the university, it is a slap in the face that you really have to push yourself to connect with people, you have to like constantly, go out of your way to build your own community. I want to touch upon that later, but Lillian pointed out something that made me curious about how dance for you has changed in a way, having since been here in the UAE, because for you looking for community means, like going to contemporary arts dance classes and all these things that maybe are not here. And I wanted to ask sort of a tangential question. How has living here in the UAE specifically shaped your artistic career, or shaped how you are as an artist? Culturally maybe, or practically? And I wanted to start with Lillian. Maybe you could expand on you as a dancer and you as a movement artist. How has that changed your artistry?
I think, first of all, as dancers, the dance community all around the world, it's a lot competitive, I'm better in the 180 degrees leg and whatever 3 turns if you have technique. Or in Europe, everything is intellectual and I don't move, but you have to know what I'm doing, no? Or, and there's, for me, coming here, give me humbleness about, it's not what I want, I have to be real about what I want to express, it's not what I learn, it's like, because, really humbleness. I think the concept is and also, at least here in Abu Dhabi, I live in Abu Dhabi, so the community is so small, at least, for example, in my ballet colleagues, that we have actually to fight for the space to have our class. And that there is a sense of real, I don't know if it's community, but if you don't help each other, you just don't do a class, simple. Or you have a good vibe and help each other, or you are literally alone and do nothing. You cannot have attitude. It's not possible to have attitude. Perhaps in Dubai you can have attitude because you have more dancers and more studios and more everything. Here you cannot. You have to be real, and if you go to a class, you have to be there, And it's really, it's interesting. It has changed me a lot in how I am, committed. It has really put me in an edge of, I am committed. I want to do it, even though I'm losing actually money of my other job to do it. That is also a tricky thing about the financial, no? Yeah. And I don't know, perhaps in other arts it's even better, but in dance it's like, oh, you can do it, but you won't get paid. Just for love for art. So it's like
everywhere.
Okay, and even though you do it, that it's like, oh, okay.
Dana, you want to say something?
I mean, you want to talk about struggles? Got you.
Yeah.
There's a list. I mean, the music, I can't even call it an industry. I can only call it a scene, because I feel like in the UAE we don't have a music industry yet. We only have little bits and pieces of people that are doing one thing, which is entertainment, and then there's another group of people that's actually writing music and releasing music. So we're currently in a space where there's this, I won't call it a war, but I'll call it a divide. We have entertainers and then we have artists. And I'm an artist, but people keep trying to put me in the box of being an entertainer, and they want me to sing cover songs. They want me to sing Dua Lipa and all of that, but I want to sing the songs that I wrote. there's no space for that in the UAE. There's no space for artists to actually like perform music that you write, and we find this as like, this is such a big problem, and like me and the group that I work with, and we're trying to fix all of this slowly within like maybe creating shows of our own and like working with other artists in the region, writing music with them. But like, I feel like if everybody doesn't do it, we're not really gonna get anywhere. So right now there's this current situation of you're either an entertainer or you're an artist. And I'm trying to find the artists. I don't want to work with the entertainers anymore. I'm tired. So yeah, that's my problem at the moment.
Thank you, Chafa. Do you think the UAE has changed your approach to art, or has it not?
No, definitely, it definitely did. I mean, I used to be in Lebanon before. I'm Lebanese, and I grew up and worked my entire life, and it's a completely different landscape. So it's just normal that, I mean, first to have different ecosystems around the art and the art community, and even like critical conversations, etc. But also different environment to produce an artwork, starting from the landscape, and I'm talking about like really tangible materiality here. It's completely different. Historically, it's completely different. The way we drive across the city is completely different. And these things matter to me because I feel like I thrive and get inspired a lot with the way I move across a space. So that movement is really different between both countries. So on that level, yes, I did find my inspiration in the UAE based on the physical experience that the space allowed. But also, I mean, this is a country and a scene that has been actively working on supporting culture and the arts, and we have witnessed a lot of platforms and programs that I also had the chance to be part of. You know, like I mean, kind of like went through not all of them, but quite a lot. You know, I did Campus Art Dubai when I arrived, and I did the C Fellowship, I did the CPP Critical Practice Program in Tashkil. All these, they were like residencies that allowed me to push my practice, be with mentors, get critical feedback. So there is, to me, a sense of focusness. I was able to focus on my practice and to resonate with a community or an environment around me that would support it. Now, the last 2 years I found a gallery, so of course now it's even like more support and more challenging, and it took it to the other level. Last year I was part of a collective show here in NYU Gallery, so it is a place where you do get, if you're actively engaged enough and your practice is growing, you will attract attention, and like chances will come towards you to grow the practice. Now the interesting thing is all this is happening while individually there is still, like with all the support, you grow the practice, but you really need to maintain this idea of carrying on being here. And that's like the thing that needs, you know, I don't know what to say, the verb, what the Mercury does, you know, like balance or, so no, it did allow me more focusedness, and I realized that I do thrive on routine also from time to time, you know. So I'm also a mother of a 5 years old. So the last 5 years I was very focused on a practice, but also being a bit at home and back and forth, and that was enough for me to just solidify something, and this place allowed it, you know. So in that sense, yeah.
Trixie, do you want to add something?
I think for me, it's not a challenge. UAE actually opened a lot of doors for me, and it gave me a permission to reinvent myself. Because back home I was just theater, and I needed to find another outlet. And when I came here, I didn't know anyone who did theater. I was trying to explore things and that, and I found the poetry scene or the poetry community, which they welcomed me, they gave me a home and all that stuff. So yeah, it gave me permission to reinvent myself, which I think it's a very beautiful thing.
So I'm gonna move on with more questions because I like questions and I want to be an artist as well. And this is a specific question. Maybe it's kind of connected to what Dana mentioned about not wanting to work with entertainers a lot, or like having that balance of being an artist. I'm curious as to if there is a recent realization for you guys of something that is not artistic or not directly artistic that you have to do for your artistic career that you realize was actually really important. And what I mean by that is maybe, branding yourself, showing up for yourself, managing yourself, all these admin stuff that we actually just forget to do, that maybe are important. I want to know from you guys your experience in that, and maybe it's not the same for everyone because you all have different disciplines. But I wanted to know that because I just want to. So, do you want to start that?
It's actually the most important part of being an artist because you need to be able to organize all of the things that you do and understand what that means for you. And I feel like I actually learned a lot when I did the new program here at NYU AD, which was so blessed to be nominated by the amazing mother. Yeah, it was really fun because all of the things that I knew of just by being a part of the industry, I was able to then now put a name to those jobs and tasks and things like that. Learning how to read a contract, like really understanding how to read a contract is so vital. Being able to do like budget related things, understanding how to market yourself, understanding how much it takes to actually, you won't really get anywhere as an artist if you don't do the other things, because that part of the job is actually really important. And if you don't do that or get somebody to do that for you, then I don't know if it depends on what your definition of success is, but I don't know how far you'll be able to get as an artist. You require that kind of support. So either learn to do it yourself or I guess have a team to do it for you. But it is very important, and I learned that in the last 2 years. Branding I've always been good with. I can brand myself. Easy. I mean, look at me. But yeah, but like with the other things for sure, I feel like it's taken a couple years. I've just spent a lot of time on the internet, learning, watching videos, understanding how managers and booking agents work and stuff like that. But yeah, there's things that I'm good at, things that I'm not good at, and just you need to take the time to learn those things. Yeah.
Trixie, do you agree?
Yeah, and rates. I'm very
Rates?
shy. I'm a very shy person, so it takes a lot for me to say, okay, this is the rate and stuff, and to fight for myself, to advocate for myself, which New Moon also taught us to do. And now I'm a bit more confident because back home in the Philippines, I was part of a theater ensemble, so we don't deal with that. Someone is dealing with that for us.
Yeah.
So here, being alone, that's why I said earlier that it was reinventing myself or my practice, because it's me dealing with people and all that stuff, which gives me a lot of learning experience that, oh, okay, I can do this. I thought I couldn't do it before.
Yeah.
So yeah, contracts, rates, marketing, all that stuff, basically all the admin side of things. So those were the crunchy parts.
Crunchy indeed.
Lillian, do you have anything that you recently realized that was important?
That was important.
That is important.
That is
so,
important. I think I go back with what I want to say, my personal concept. Marketing is important, all the administration. But right now, I think I'm more focusing what exactly I'm interested in saying and why, and what is my personal artistic statement. Why I want to do it. What's my personal purpose? Not just as an artist, as a human being. As a mover. So, and also to locate myself smartly. We are in UAE. What I was saying, okay, I go to another part, you know. Some years ago I was living in Vienna, I was a student studying in Vienna, and it was like easy just going to dance quartier and taking a class for professional dancers and whatever, no, and taking from everybody. Here, I have to create it actually, you know, because it's not that me going there, you know, like it's me that have to create it. So it's like it changes, like my like the, you know, like there you are the passive. Here you have to be active and creator, you know. So I think for me that's where I am. What I want to, you know, clarify that space, and then I move to this part of the boring stuff.
If I understood well your question, is it related to like actively do things that are not directly related to the art practice, but that fuel into it?
Exactly. No, not, you don't have to, it doesn't have to fuel it.
Okay.
It just has to be a foundation or support it in such a way that you can keep being sustainable with your art practice.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. Yes, I've had that in a very solid way because back in the days in Beirut, when I graduated from school, I directly, because I wanted to be more involved with painting, and I wanted to sustain myself, but in a way that fuels in the practice, I went into industrial painting, and we really learned in the industry with like stuff that are purely like the foundation of how you treat walls, just like the walls that you see around you here. And then it became a training, and then I started joining like more of those teams. I became an industrial painter, and then collaborated with decorative painters, architects, and interior designers. And then I had my own team, and I started taking basically projects in construction sites. And parallel to that, I was developing my own contemporary art practice. And that became the lab for this, but a way to sustain myself. Now that I look back, because I did this for 10 years, and now that I moved a little bit away from construction sites and commercial practice, I feel like that was definitely a foundation for what I do. Not only what I studied, not only the projects that I did, but maybe in 80% it was at the foundation of the way I talk about my art practice right now. And I always have this need to remove myself from the environment of what we call a strictly contemporary art environment, or let's say artistic elite, or because you need also to be connected to life fully, you know. And so I do things related to being a mother, or I teach kids sometimes, and I teach non-professionals. I organize reading sessions. So I feel not only they are refreshing and important, but in the end they make you really relational with the world. And when you're more relational with the world, that comes back in a richer practice or attitude, at least towards making or how you carry it. So to me it's crucial to do things that are different. Now, right now I'm at a stage where I feel like spicing it up a bit. But this is where I feel like I'm a bit behind, you know, like, okay, branding yourself. I look into my Instagram. Okay, you know, like, I journal. This is the daily studio situation. No extra effort, no, like, definitely not my field, you know. Someone needs to do it, not sure. Can I carry it alone? Definitely not, you know. So I'm in this limbo of, okay, let it be, you know. But I feel just excited to explore. I don't know what they are, but whatever it is that can shape this, not persona, but like this. I mean, you're a human. You're not only an artist, right? Like you move on with, I don't know, with everything that you do. But I'm yet to discover what they are. But I feel like I can be open to it. Yeah, it's fun also. Yeah. Maybe I'll come sing with you or dance.
I feel like that also depends on the kind of artist you want to be. Is it like are you looking to be a very publicly renowned kind of artist, or are you happy with the situation where you're in right now with the communities that you have and the work that you're doing? Do you enjoy like working with these kind of people, and do you enjoy doing the projects that you do, or are you seeking for like more? And yeah, I feel like in that case, then branding can also help there. Marketing helps there. So I feel like it works on, again, that's why I said, like, what do you define success as? Because I think for me, branding, marketing, and all of those things help me go to the next level. So I know that I want to go to the next level. So I know I need to put in the work to do all of these other things to make sure that I'm kind of well elevated and well balanced as an artist, to have all of my things kind of taken care of. Yeah, so it depends. Do you want to be like more publicly?
But maybe if I can comment on something that comes to my mind with what you're saying is maybe the struggle for me is the industry or how the world is shaped right now in terms of media or branding.
Yeah.
I feel also presents itself in absolute term. You know, like you need to be, you want to be out there. You need to be like large scale out there. And sometimes I just wanted maybe on an event, you know,
Yeah.
and maybe I might do it super well.
Yeah.
But that's it, and
Yeah.
then I move on to something else.
And that's
So,
okay. That's still
like
branding.
the fluidity
Yeah.
is important. You know, you can be in and out, and I feel like this is also from a woman perspective or an artist perspective. Like it elevates the sense of freedom that we can belong without having to be fully committed to an industry. Like, what if I want to really dress well, almost like as if I'm in the fashion industry for, I don't know, in a sense of collaborating in the arts, and that's it. And then you move on to something else, and you have integrity in both.
And you
How
can
much
do
there's
that.
space for that?
I
you
feel
know?
like there's space for everything. I just feel like it is me, like I know I'm an open book everywhere on like social media and every single space. Like today I'm dressed up. I just came back from a shoot. That's why I have a face full of makeup. But my plan today was to just come barefaced, you know, be in like loose, comfortable clothes and just exist as a woman, as an artist and stuff like that. But I feel like there's space for all of that. It's just, I'm coming back to the question of like how, what is success to you, and like, because I feel like marketing, branding, doing all these like admin things are gonna be able to take you to the next level if that's what you're like seeking. They're like tools. They're tools that help you elevate. Am I making sense?
Yes, you do. And I love branding as well. I do understand your point of wanting to be not defined
Yeah.
by something. And if we start branding ourselves as that, which then becomes us being easily consumable by everyone, it commodifies us somehow.
Yeah.
Somehow. But that's where the money comes in, where sustainability comes in.
Yeah.
And I really understand, I resonate with that, because what for me personally, I want to be an artist that's not defined by one thing that I do.
Yeah.
Because I want to explore many of the things, right? Before we move on, because we are going to open the panel, I want to ask maybe one last question. Since you started mentioning that, what is success for a person?
Yeah.
That's not my question. But my question, that's not my question. But where you are in your life right now as an artist, I want to know maybe something that the audience perhaps can get from you. What is the most important thing you're considering right now that's important in your artistic career that people should know? Maybe in the industry that you're working in, or the discipline that you're working in, or maybe not. Just as a general artist, because you would see yourself in different levels of your career, and I wanted to know personally for you, what is the most important thing that you're considering people should understand, that this is an important thing as an emerging artist here in the UAE? And then
I feel like I've been talking a lot. You can start.
Okay. I think a great support system, community, perhaps. I switched jobs. I have a full-time job. I switched job 5 times in 5 years because because I felt like I couldn't continue my practice at the same time maintaining those other jobs. And now that I have a job, which my manager is very kind, and he's very, not just he, everyone in the office are very understanding. Like, I'm very transparent. I'm gonna go to Abu Dhabi next week. I need to take a leave and stuff, and da 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 da. So I think that's part of the support system that I have, so I can thrive into these spaces as an artist. And yeah, my family, my friends, work and all that stuff. So yeah, and I'm in a place right now where the challenge is, as an artist, you don't get compensated enough and all that stuff. So I am not very comfortable of leaving my full-time job or giving it up. So I need a job that understands my passion and a purposeful job as well. So both of them, I need to marry them. That's why I kept jumping for 5 years from one job to another, because oops, this is not for me. It's a bit toxic, I might say, and stuff. So it was a decision that I need to sit with and be comfortable with every time I bump into it. But now I'm 2.5 years in this job, and yeah, I feel comfortable. So I think community support system, being in a space that you feel like you belong, and being in a space that you know they really appreciate you for what you bring into the table. So they give that importance to you and the reciprocation of it.
I was hearing you like so. So cool. What was the question? Like, what is?
In your life right now, what is the most important thing that people should know that an emerging artist should be onto?
Being active, creating, or collaboration, or collaborating. You know, just being active.
Being active.
You know, like present. You know,
Presence.
yeah, definitely the background is important, but I think it doesn't matter. You know, like being present, like here. You know, as a spectator. You know, which thank you very much for coming. You know, being present. I think as a creator, a spectator. You know, like just like supporter
Yeah.
in any kind of arts.
Yeah.
I think that's the main.
Chafa?
Social media included.
If it's more of an advice to other
Yes,
emerging
sure. Yes.
artists, because also when I teach, I do get that sense of some people being stuck, and I'm not talking about being stuck in the creative process itself, but within the environment of what the city allows, more playfulness.
Playfulness.
Yes, and playfulness in what I'm talking about is sometimes within this support system and system of care, things can tend to be for younger artists. I'm not talking my generation, like 10, 12 years younger. Things can tend to be a bit like pre-prescribed, you know, like you've done your degree, this is what can be on the table offered for you, and then it starts to be like a checklist, which is kind of great in a way if you think about it, for at least I have opportunities. But from my experience and my sensation about the topic, there should be room for failure, play, error, and not that I know how this can be possible here, because I didn't live in this space when I was in my 20s, so I cannot pretend, but there must be a way to pour that sense of playfulness and experimentation and I don't know, that type of energy of the bit more committed, less serious, if I'm making sense,
Yeah.
into what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
And authenticity, I guess.
Mhm.
Being true to your work. Yeah, just say your truth every time.
I feel like I'm currently in the boat where I want to be in that space where I'm like, I want to play more. I want to like write more and create more and like do more of the work. But also being a full-time artist makes that really hard because you're out chasing for the bag. So you can feed your cat. Like that's where I'm at. And I feel like you're so right. Like playing more is really, really important. I also feel like development is really important for an artist. That's the boat that I'm in right now. I'm super focused on just developing myself and understanding my industry and understanding what I need to then be at the level that I want to be at. So I'm taking that very, very seriously at the moment. I have like a vocal coach. I'm doing like this whole thing of planning how my releases are gonna be. And yeah, it's been great, but I feel like development is really, really important. It'll help you like chart out what your specific journey could look like. So for me, it's development. That's my advice.
Thank you. So it's now time for my break. If you guys have questions, the panel is open for your curiosity, maybe. You can like, yes, please.
I resonate a lot when Lillian talks about how if you want something here, you have to go and make it happen, and you can't just expect that the things will show up. There's a lot of space to build, to create, and with that, there's just a lot of possibility of there is no set way that people think that this is how things should be, because everybody comes with their own expectations of this is how things should be, but nobody has like that majority opinion, right? There isn't like an industry where people are just like, this is how things are. And kind of thinking along that line, and knowing that as artists, I feel like it's part of our job to build in this country as we move along, and it's just something that happens inevitably as we make work, we build. So my question is, what do you want to build?
Such a fire question.
I have it quite clear actually. I think there's, and we were talking about that in one dinner, education. At least in my field, like dance movement, I think there is a lack of history, that actually I was quite amazed, to be honest, that I was like, okay, how is possible that we don't know about the history of modern dance and contemporary dance and basic, like Indian dance and the diversity of Indian dance, or pre-Hispanic dance, or movement itself, where it comes, just from the fire, from the basic rhythm, or the beats from the techno music that comes from, like, I think it's a matter of, that's what I have this, starting to have this clarity, that it has been taking me a long time, but yeah, about how to create this system of education, and education is not like the institutional education, because education is like, I do believe about the learning by doing by learning. I do believe that it's a matter of by the doing you start, and also based on history, like, I mean, like, and yes, I think that's like what I think is I feel that it's like the lack, at least in my field, in this country.
Do you want all of us to answer?
I mean,
does anybody else want to do?
I would love to know all of your answers, but I guess you don't have to.
I feel like I want to build space. That's what we lack here in this region, like grassroots communities. It's not there, or if it's there, it's not long lasting. It starts off because somebody has the same vision as we all do, and then it's not sustainable because there's no support from anybody. We're not able to fuel it. So I want to build sustainable space. I think that's what I want to do in this region. And it will happen eventually, but again, until the industry is like solidified, it's gonna take time. We're all really, the industry here is like super young, and yeah, I think it's our job to create it. Space and to keep. Yeah.
I want to build as well. More questions?
I think just following up on the community that we were talking about, I was wondering if, for me, it seems like there's a dilemma when building community, that there's a contradiction in professionality versus inclusivity. Sometimes we want more population, and then we want to open up the range that we're receiving. And then that involves different kinds of purpose. Some people are looking for entertainment, some people are looking for high art, and then conceptual arts and all those. And then, but like, so what's the goal? Like, do you feel like building a community needs a goal? And then, like, does it need everybody to be on the same page of what we're looking for? Or at a time when we want to open up and have more population and there are different goals from every different individuals, like, what are the ways to balance it? Like, I feel like this could be a discussion, like, because I feel like this is like very hard, and for different community it's different. For each community, there are different purposes for communities. I imagine there are some that's looking for a commercial success, that there are some that's looking for a sustainable, long, fostering educational space. And then, like, maybe you're looking for different kinds of communities in your life, or involved, you have been involved in different ones, and then what's your experience with them?
Okay. Everybody's like looking at me, so I'm like, personally, personally, I'm looking for like a community that I can like create with like no judgment, no like, it shouldn't be that I'm like forced to be a part of this community, but if I want to create, I want to be able to go to this community and create. I want a family, like an artist family, and that's what I've also learned here at NYU with like Lana and Bill and Beam. It's like me meeting everybody at the program was also like me building my artist family, and this is now a network of people that I can always reach out to whenever I have an idea in my head. So for me, it's about just making sure I have creative collaborators, people that I can go to and be like, yeah, I have this idea, tell me what you think about it. Can we do something about it? That's the kind of community I'm looking for, personally. Yeah.
I think of, when I think in broader term of the term community, I think of ecosystem of care and safe space, and a lot of vitality, you know, like things, a place where things can be exchanged and merged. And but at the same time, I do think about, does it have to be communicated or communicated? Because if you think about like a personal act of being out there, and it takes 2 or 3 people, that's community already. And you do it with consistency, with all those care and like things that I talked about, then that's it. It has its own ripple effect. So maybe in a way we have to also trust like the agency we have into the energy that we do when I mean, look at this room. I know 2 people here, and I will leave after this hour feeling like, oh my God, I can get back to he, she, her. But because I'm owning it, if you don't do that and you feel like that was it was fleeting and it will go away, even if I do not get back to them, that's another story. But in this moment, I own it. Everyone here is with me, you know. So I feel like we have to carry an attitude to trust, where community do not have to come to us. It is sometimes engineered in this country. Like, for example, I think of a Circle Avenue. They talk about creating a community. A CIF fellowship, they talk about creating a community. That's excellent. But on the other hand, if we are a bit intimidated, or we do not have anything to propose to be part of a program, we have our voice or our needs, and trusting the ripple effect, and then it really does something in the end. So I would also look at it, and then people, you know, like from your Pilates studio, because we talked about Pilates before, contemporary dance, become really a solid foundation into making sure you carry on to your art studio and you're well. You know what I mean? So it's, yeah.
How do you have that trust that the ripple is going to go on? Because I know that fostering interpersonal relationship, it's so much uncertainty. It's not I give 1 and I'm going to receive 1. Sometimes you give 5 and you get nothing back. And at that moment, is there a moment where you're disappointed, and what keeps you going on? that trusting the people, it's gonna ripple back.
Yeah, of course there are moments you're gonna be disappointed and super alone. And I've experienced that, and funny enough, I did it also in my own city, you know, and I've experienced it here. But you keep going and you are growing, and I mean, it's not like, it's not a quick fix, or it's, I don't know, it has to do with time and duration and how you behave and all this, and trust and just consistency, and maybe you don't need 25 people. Your community can be 2 people and that's it, and with a louder voice than an entire avenue. And I'm not talking, I love Circle Avenue, by the way, but I just like the visualization of the avenue, you know, like, and what it represents as a metaphor, because it is a physical space. But even within Circle, I think it's an excellent example. Like you have Cinema Akil, for example, or Circle. They're all sub-communities, you know, and on and on. The classroom, when I teach, is a community. I have my community of students, and they're not interrelated. But, so I don't know, I think we need to read also about mesh and bacteria and how things form. You know, if you wanna, you can read about history or our evolution through very strong voices, and you can read about it from mushroom and bacteria. And I think this is the shift in the attitude into deciding what really matters, what brings agency, and what brings this trust that I'm talking from, you know? And it doesn't matter then if it succeeds or not, it's just about being in it. Yeah.
Yeah, I also feel like you mentioned like give 5 and get nothing back. But like take that nothing and go focus on your own work again.
Yeah.
Like that's the answer to everything. When you don't get anything back, you're pouring it back into yourself. So like go back to your art, pour it all there, and then the opportunities will just happen. It's always like that.
Yeah, from experience as well. So if we do something in theater here in the UAE, and it's by volunteer, our community. So sometimes if we do open calls, we get nothing back. We go back to the drawing board, are we gonna move it and stuff like that, but we don't give up. It's just like, okay, it's a matter of time. Maybe someone will sign up, or you know, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it did come through. We improvised based on what we have at the moment. You just need some reality checks and all of that. But the community will make itself, actually.
I also am fully delusional. So like, no, I'm serious. Like if you don't believe in yourself that much, what's the point of doing all of this? You have to believe in yourself 100% to be doing your art. Like if you don't have that belief, nobody's gonna believe in you. You have to be delusional, and that actually should be the thing that I give to you. Be delusional, because that's the thing that's gonna take you the furthest. Fully believe in yourself. You're allowed to. You're totally allowed to. Yes, you write that. Be delusional.
I write confidence.
Exactly. Fully believe in yourself. That's the only way.
Great, we have room for a few more questions, if somebody has.
Firstly, I want to thank all of you for being great panelists and of course a great moderator as well. So I personally moved from Dubai to Abu Dhabi about 2-3 years ago for work, and I'm someone who was very used to supporting artists and community in Dubai. But when I came to Abu Dhabi, I felt like a little bit of emptiness of that over here. And throughout the whole panel session today, we spoke about community, authenticity, and of course everyone in this room is here to support growing artists, right? So what are some of the ways in which you think we could try and build this up even bigger or louder to make it as big as Dubai, or even better and more authentic than the art scene that exists over there?
Here in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like this on its own is already
Good enough.
this is the thing that gets you there.
Yeah,
I feel like in Dubai a lot of the stuff is very commercial.
it is
Yeah,
definitely.
I feel like we don't get things as authentic as this moment right here, right now.
Yeah.
I feel like I went to this music industry meetup once. Oh my god. It was just loud music. It was an industry meetup for us to have a conversation, but it was in this restaurant that was really, really loud. I couldn't hear anybody. I was yelling. I'm a vocalist. I have to to save my voice. But no, I'm yelling to speak to other people about the industry. It's really commercial there. I feel like these moments where it's like real and we're talking to each other and we're understanding what the struggles are and we're helping each other out, this is important. More of this is going to get you there. You guys will have a much better community than Dubai, I'm sure. But like, this is important. More of this.
I think creating spaces, and also I go back with what I answered to Carlos. It was like, because then I was, well, hearing all of these sharp minds, I was also thinking about two more concepts, you know, like I was saying, like creating spaces, education, interdisciplinarity, and experimental. I think I have this sensation of, you know, like I need to experiment, you know, like get dirty, you know, like get like the delusional, thank you, you know, you know, like yes, just doing by doing, like, and that's the experiment, that's how art comes, you know, like Pollock, you know, like performance art, the happenings in New York, you know, like that's how real art appears, no, like, and the contemporary art, no? So creating those safe spaces to be authentic, to be experimental, to be interdisciplinary, to be human beings, creating something. So a space, I think, like space to be.
I think my question was mainly around like the authenticity of it. I remember I went to Miza, I think that's what the place is called, for like a community event one evening, and it just felt very hollow. Like there were a lot of people over there, there were some talks happening, but it lacked a lot of authenticity to it. So it's just the questions about how to bring all these great artists and minds together and building a very authentic and very grounded community in Abu Dhabi, because I think that's what the space needs a lot right now.
Feel you.
I feel like a lot of you guys I've heard this from a lot of people.
Yeah.
The lack of like space. It's just there's a problem.
Because with work that I do, we are always looking for like artists in Abu Dhabi, and we're like, I don't know anyone. And we have to kind of go and look for like people in like Dubai or like somewhere in the Emirate or somewhere else, which is of course a little sad sometimes. So yeah, just how to build artists over here. That's actually the question.
Yeah, I think what I got from this panel, even if we do talk about space a lot and building space, I think what I got here was that space does really come from the person. And what I mean by that is that when we talk about art and we make art, the space that we create is because it's received and because it's consumed really well by other people. And it's not about like, hey, there's a room, that's space. What I want from the art that I create is for people to talk about it and for people to receive and tell me, yeah, I did not like that because, you know, this and that. And that's already the space. I feel I resonate a lot with what you said, that, you know, it comes from us. It comes from this agency that we create. But yeah, so if you guys have any more questions, I'll end this panel. Yes.
Well, no, first of all, I'm very grateful for this space because, well, in my case, I'm very new in the country. I'm a musical composer. And when I came here, well, basically I felt like, oh my God, I have to start from scratch here because I'm leaving everything in my country and everything that I built there. So now I think this is very important because it's the first time that I get in touch with many artists. It's the first time. I'm really happy to be here, actually. So I have a little question for you guys. When was the first time that you felt here in Abu Dhabi like this is a good place to start, or this is a good place where I can share my art?
I don't know.
I'm still waiting.
In Abu Dhabi, you mean?
Yes, well, start from Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, I live in Dubai.
I also live in Dubai too.
No, there are.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. I guess we're not there yet. Like we're always looking for opportunities and stuff like that. So
We're delusional about it.
I remember being part of, I said, those programs that are very much based on the idea of, okay, it's around the art, but it's about really building a community of artists for critical feedback. And in every program that I did, and 2 of them were in Abu Dhabi, which are the C Fellowship, and lately, just last year, Teaching Artist Fellowship. So you are already a teaching artist, and you go into this 6-month program, not only to enhance your skills, but basically to figure out more creative ways of shaping your teaching practice and anchor it as part of your art practice. Now, not only that was interesting, but it's what happens in those rooms, those conversations that are very much stimulating, thought-provoking, where you really feel like not only I belong to this space, but I'm actually being able to think, to reflect, to get critique, vice versa. Personally, it makes me feel very much alive and present and engaged in the larger sense of community. So also in relation to what you suggested about, I don't know Misa very well yet, but I think this is something that we hear across the entire UAE, where we have ambitious, and we have to keep remembering this is a young country, and what's been happening for the speed of how things have been shaping the last 10 years is remarkable. And I'm not only talking from an empathy, but sometimes we need to ask, like, what do we want? You know, like, why am I expecting to feel that authenticity in that box or that neighborhood or that avenue, or where in a room with a mentor and 3 students as part of a program, not the program itself, but in that room, I'm able to feel all of it. So the issue becomes also on us. What are we marketing, you know, that what is being failed and what is succeeding? So when we shift it and we remove the load from the mega, attempts to trusting more what can be happening in more humble spaces also, this is where we take more agency. And then nothing will be failing, it's just how we carry it. And it's okay if it does, it's okay like if, I don't know, Misa develops into becoming like not my type or whatever, or it might be what Abu Dhabi actually needs in the next 5 years. We don't know, we're part of it. So, I trust conversations a lot, personally, really a lot.
I feel like as an artist, in Abu Dhabi, the only place I felt safe to be an artist is actually with the art center. That's the only space so far. I've done gigs at multiple different places. I know a bunch of people from Abu Dhabi, but like, I feel like the only place I felt safe as an artist where I can really say what's on my mind and receive feedback and stuff like that is just from the art center so far. It's the only space so far that I'm really comfortable. Yeah.
So we need to pay attention. That's like a major responsibility.
Yeah. For me, I can merge both Lillian and hers, which is the sense of agency, and then Lillian's we need to do it ourselves, because as per experience, we had a play that we produced ourselves in 421 Warehouse, which all of the crew and the cast, they're all volunteers, and their costumes and the props came from their pockets, and our food and all that stuff. So we just wanted to do a show, and we made it happen. We had 4 shows, 4 gala shows at 421 Warehouse in a small space, in a small studio space, and our props and sets and Carlos helped us with the lights, it was actually exhilarating to produce a show. And we were rehearsing in an activity room without an AC back in Dubai, where it was our friend's place and stuff. So, but we were happy. We were not complaining or all of that, but we just want to make things happen. We were happy. No one complained about it. All of them have day jobs. They would go to rehearsals at 7 p.m., 8 p.m. in the evening, and we would finish around 10 p.m. And they would go from Dubai to Abu Dhabi. We would pool everyone in one room and all that stuff. So yeah, make things happen.
Yeah.
And sense of agency.
I just also remembered very quickly, because it was in this room I arrived the workshop. It's in this room, so it's amazing. So I was part of this collective show last year, and then we decided, I got invited to do a workshop in relation to my mural in the show. And I don't think that a paint workshop has been hosted in this room, so part of the conversation was actually to make it happen, consider what are the limitations, how this space can be adjusted, and then the people that came in were completely like different, and then you have that sense of containment for 3 hours where the workshop become the thing.
Yeah.
And it's so special that it's in that exact same room, like where we have different momentum, of now we're having this. And so in that spirit, I feel we need to be really, what's the footprint, what you mark.
Well, okay, we have our last question.
Yeah, my
Yes.
There's so many thoughts in my head. And put it in one short question. Well, I'm thank you so much for this. I'm so thrilled to be here. I actually consider myself as a commercial artist. I'll say that. After I've been working in Shanghai for 12 years, I'm a director, choreographer, and dancer. And actually, like right now, in my lowest point in my life, because I never, like Lillian said, that here you have to research, you always have to find a way, and I actually never experienced that. In China, everything was so easy. It's like they call you, it's like you're always like, oh, this I'll take, all that, and here you I just arrived and I don't know where to, you're talking about community, but how to get in touch with this community, how to find new people, and they text you and oh, send me your bio, and then I send you, and they're like, okay, and did you even read it? Or then what Dana said, maybe that people just not trusting me because it's a lot of fake these bios, or I don't know, but I tried everything I could and zero response. I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll just start teaching, but all studios say text, it's they're okay. And then I started to teach my high heels classes, and they literally kicked me out from free studios because they said, I'm killing the floor with the heels. It's just so I'm so freaking lost, absolutely lost.
You're
and
very
don't even know how do you introduce yourself to communities? That's my question.
I can't lie, it's so individualistic in this country. Everybody's so focused on their own hustle. I can't lie, that is the truth. It is really hard here, and it takes one nice person to just be like, hey, you should come with me. I'm going to this, in my case, open mic. Let's go see some people in the community and meet some. It takes a lot of effort in this region to really get those doors to open, but don't give up.
Yeah, but the open mics, but for dancers,
I know, that's why I said my
Do
case.
you have something like that for dancers?
Yeah,
with
dancers is.
Oh, yeah.
The saddest thing is that we have difficulties, like she said, we have difficulties connecting with organizers, supporters. It's the most toughest thing as dancers we face in UA.
Maybe dance events or something. I'm sure you guys do. I'm a musician, so I'm just listening and thinking if you attend and then connect to a dancer right after and ask them what's their story, what do they do? Do you have any group chats, any groups I could join, or who organized this, and what organizer could I get in touch with? Maybe check the poster and see who's sponsoring these events, and maybe they could partner with you if you wanted to start something. I was in the NYU program as well, and this is a revolving conversation we're all having. I lived here half my life. A lot of us have. I was with Trixie and Dana, and this is a conversation we're always having, even though we lived here for a long time. Something one of the panelists said, the artist on the panel, she said, yeah, like UAE is a new country, so it's like took off at like light speed the last 10 years, but it's still really, really evolving. And I just think, like for me, my biggest takeaway would be you just put yourself out there. Put yourself out there, go to these events, even when you're exhausted. Like, I'm exhausted being here, but I wanted to come here and see everyone. Like, I flew in from Riyadh before, and I just wanted to be here to support the new artists. And you really need to put yourself out there. It's like extra work, I think, in UAE, but the more you do it, the more your face is familiar, people will remember you, reach out to you. And we can connect after, like I can share maybe group chats or something.
And this is a clear example what I was telling you, like UAE makes you humble, you know, like in dance, you know, like you cannot American attitude, it's like, man, I just want to dance, you know, like please, I just want to
this is
something
pretty much
me.
where I am right now. Like,
Ross,
let me
move.
let me
Yeah,
dance.
please.
Something else.
Yes?
Yeah.
Well, do you want to add to that, Bill?
Yeah, I just want to add something on Bill from the Arts Center, and I love this conversation. It feels so important. It feels so, I think, humbling to think about the work. And I think to your question, I think one of the reasons we do events like this is about sharing knowledge. One of the reasons we do workshops in dance technique or songwriting or what have you is to build the skills. But all of them are really also community building exercises, right? And so much of the relationships are also built by just who else shows up. Who else shows up for the workshops? Who else shows up for the audience? Who do you talk to in the lobby? Who do you start seeing? So the just showing up is really, really important because it is small community. You'll start seeing the same people, and that's where you realize, like, all right, like I can't tell you how many places I've seen Rawat. Like, he's always there. Carlos is always there. People are always there, and then eventually, like, then you get to be in somebody's dance show, and it's very organic. I think I met Trixie through 63 Collective when they did an event in the back room at the consulate in Dubai because they wanted to do something, they did it. And so I'm just gonna, I guess, end with a reference drawn on Lillian's sort of like, we need to learn art history and dance history, is the sort of classic quote from Merce Cunningham, is the only way to do it is to do it. And I think ultimately that sense of DIY and like you want something to exist, make it exist. Don't wait for the institution to tell you it can exist. It doesn't have to exist in a public space, but like make the work. It could be in your living room. It could be on the internet. It could be around a dinner table. But like just the only way to do it is to do it.
Great.
Just do it. Just do it. Branding.
Yes, speaking of events, I want you to eat some of our cookies, so I'll end this panel. I'm going to end this panel. Thank you so much to everyone for